Welcome to another insightful episode. I'm Marco Schwartz, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Eriks Rengitis, the CEO of Debitum. Debitum has been making waves in the alternative financing space, providing innovative solutions for small and medium enterprises across Europe. In this interview, we'll explore Debitum's unique approach to business financing, the challenges they've overcome, and their vision for the future. Eriks brings over a decade of experience in fintech and will share valuable insights on how Debitum is revolutionizing access to capital for businesses. From discussing market trends to exploring the technology behind their platform, this conversation offers a comprehensive look at how Debitum is changing the landscape of business financing. So without further delay, let's dive into our conversation with Eriks Rengitis, CEO of Debitum. So for those people that would listen to this and don't know you yet or Debitum, can you just introduce yourself and your company, Debitum?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name is Eriks. I am CEO and also co-owner of Debitum Investments. So on my part, I've been in finance throughout of most of my life. So after I graduated university, I went into corporate finance, M&A, finance raising, basically standard corporate finance transactions in the Baltic states and cross-border. And then somehow I thought that I wanted to do also something else. And then I ended up in Debitum, basically making a fixed income instruments. So as for Debitum Investments, it's a licensed peer-to-peer brokerage platform in Latvia. So we do mainly business loans with collateral, mainly with fixed income. So we are 15 currently people team, mostly located in Latvia, and so that's in a few words about me and Debitum.
Yep. We'll for sure come back at this right now. So, as you know, there are a lot of peer-to-peer lending platforms out there. So, what would you say makes Debitum better or at least different than all those other platforms? You already mentioned some things like the license, for example, which all platforms don't have. The focus on business loans that we'll come back to that in a moment. But maybe except that, what makes Debitum different?
Yeah, while many platforms focus on consumer loans, Debitum's focused on secured business loans to small and medium enterprises. So basically, it's real companies creating real tangible value. We are actually first licensed platform offering investing in business loans with collaterals. So we're not that old, but the fun fact, we're first ones. So we cover several industries like forestry or agriculture or gaming. In 2024, we are actually proud to maintain zero default rate, small, but always we put this disclaimer that unfortunately before license there was a decision made to invest in certain assets in Ukraine, so they are currently in restructuring. But apart from that, we are very proud with our track record that we have zero default rate. Now we have more than 27 million in outstanding investments. We've paid more than 2 million to investors last year in interest. And at the moment, in March, we have 32.1 million euros outstanding investments. And currently, we have over 20,000 registered investors on our platform. So, yeah, we're a fully regulated platform. I think in terms of transparency and investor protection and compliance, we are in a very good shape and quality. We also take pride in approach that we don't have a lot of loan originators. Yeah, there are some marketplaces or platforms which have long list of loan originators, how we call, not the companies where we send money.
Yep.
So we might seem having a very short list of loan originators, but we think that's a good thing because we actually know very well each of them, and we do a very thorough analysis before we offer something to investors. So I think that that's our key highlights compared to maybe other platforms.
Yeah, definitely. I want to come back actually to one of the what really makes you different, which are this focus on business loans, right? Rather than consumer loans, where most of other platforms propose, right? So really, like for the investor, what are like the main advantage of investing in a platform that offer business loans, and also are there any drawbacks? Is there anything like worse than consumer loans for investors?
Yeah, so our loans are secured with collateral and go through strict underwriting, meaning we can offer attractive returns with lower risk. Business borrowers also tend to be more financially transparent and are often investing in growth, not just covering expenses. Potential drawback is that returns may not seem as high as some high risk consumer lending platforms have or offer. But we believe the risk adjustment performance, combined with, again, our track record of having zero default rate, makes it, in long term, a better choice for investors. For example, our newest note issuer, the Forest Fund, LFDF, basically offers Debitum first rank pledge on all assets, which I think is not standard in peer-to-peer industry. Also on top of that, we have full prospectus with quite detailed information, and everyone can access financials relatively easily. So I would say that for sure we like this strategy, and we think it's a good option to invest in business loans and companies, but for some investors maybe the drawback is that we're not able to offer so high returns.
Can you give like maybe like approximation, like how much it differs, like what's the average rate on your platform and maybe the average on other platforms that offer only consumer loans? Like approximately, maybe just for the audience to understand.
I think it's 1, 2, maybe 3% is the difference per year. So there are platforms which target, I don't know, something like 10, 11, 12, which we try to be in line with. Once in a while we have higher returns, once in a while we have lower returns. But of course there are market players whose where industries maybe allow to offer investors even, I don't know, even 17 or 18 or 9. No, so it's the upper end of double-digit returns.
Yep.
So we're focused on lower end or maybe middle, some double-digit returns. That's our range.
Okay, great. So you stepped in, right, as a new CEO of Debitum, like last year, that's right, in June. How would you say that affected the company in any way that you see relevant?
Good question. The change in leadership was actually a huge turning point for Debitum. First of all, I really believe that people are most important thing that drives success and company forward. So we restructured a lot of things. We onboarded seasoned industry professionals. We improved offering, also, for example, by implementing short-term investment products. We improved user experience. We upgraded our compliance and verification systems. So we did a lot. Among few results, to be very concrete, for example, we have more than doubled our outstanding investments. We have cut our onboarding time by 89%. That's actually a very precise figure because we have had a lot of internal discussions that peer-to-peer is an industry where it's very important to provide investors a good experience. I mean, relatively easy, relatively quick, relatively accessible. So we have cut onboarding time massively. Yeah. Again, we have paid last year more than 2 million euros in interest for our investors. Again, we've with small hiccup with the Ukrainian assets because there's a war in Ukraine and it makes a bit more difficult to quickly solve it. But apart from that, we've maintained a 0% default rate. We've surpassed, I think, symbolic threshold, which is 20,000 investors. But I think, again, most important thing is that we have a very dedicated team that it's hard to express it in a Zoom or Teams call, remotely, but actually we have a very solid team that really believes that what we're doing is a very good long-term sustainable strategy. So I think the team is the biggest success so far.
Okay, awesome. Next, I want to actually talk about something you just mentioned before. So recently on the platform was introduced a new possibility of investment, which is the Latvian Forest Development Fund, or LFDF. So can you tell us more about it, about what it is, and also how it impacted investments on Debitum?
Yeah, sure. So the launch of Latvian Forest Development Fund on Debitum has been one of most exciting steps for us and I think for investors. So the fund goes far beyond the traditional buy and hold model of forestry. It's a diversified revenue generating forestry investment strategy backed by real assets and led by highly experienced teams. So what it makes different from other players or what we like in the fund is that they have a very good approach how they execute and plan operations. So for example, they do timber harvesting as well. So they basically monetize on high quality timber. Yeah? They also have very good network connections and logistics chain, how they basically deliver and package high quality timber across Baltics and Scandinavia. Yeah? They also do agriculture, land separation and resale. So they basically, in the Baltics it's very specific. Post-Soviet Union countries have it in common that sometimes the agriculture land is mixed with forest land and again, to be very efficient and use every hectare of land bought and sold. So you also do the land separation, which might be standard in some geographic areas, but here it's legally tricky. It's relatively expensive. You need to have processes in place. And even if you talk about the less value-added things like biomass or pulpwood production, they also manage to utilize that and kind of, shall we call it, lower grade timber also is turned into biomass and heating, for heating and industrial use. So they basically use all of components that you can get out of forest. So they have now actually sold approximately 800 hectares of land. So their margin is approximately 35%, which is, from our perspective, I think, very much in line of what was promised before, and shows that they can service interests or returns offered for investors. So yeah, they're aiming by 2026 to have an even bigger portfolio, so an amount of approximately 40 million euros. So yeah, and again, we have first rank pledge on all assets, which essentially it's forest land. So we consider it a very good asset class. There's no also problems with the track record or transparency, or we have tested the fund for a while, so we're very happy, and I think that community also likes this new loan originator. So in a nutshell, I think we were aiming to offer investors something different, not available everywhere, like forest land in the Baltic states. I think that's a good diversification investor could have in their portfolio.
Yeah, definitely, and also the feedback I got from people was great. So definitely a good option to have on the platform. So that's what's recent on your platform. So now I want to talk a bit more about the future. So what are your plans, if you can share with us, like for Debitum in the coming years? So it can be something quite general, like where you want the platform to go, or more like specific, like for example, a new loan originator, website update, an app, whatever you can actually share with us.
Yeah, so I will avoid being very concrete because in few public appearances I've promised something and then the team is very angry that I promised something and now they need to deliver it quicker than it was expected. So in a nutshell, I think we will continue to grow. I think we will continue enhancing our platform and user experience. I think we will expand into new markets. I think we will strengthen long-term cooperation with our affiliates and partners. And I think we will also try to educate more investors on how peer-to-peer industry works and how licensing works and what's the difference for seasoned platforms and etc. etc. So basically, our goal is to make Debitum the most trusted peer-to-peer platform in Europe in terms of business loans. So I think that's our goal, and that's where we're put our focus on.
Great. So before we end on more like speaking about education, actually, is there anything else that you would like to add about Debitum that maybe we didn't cover so far?
I think one thing I would like to be vocal is that we are incredibly grateful to our community. I mean, investors, affiliates, partners, everyone who helped, for example, to grow us in 2024. We at Debitum believe in doing things right. So by that we understand in this industry you have to have transparency, honesty, and consistency. So as we internally say, we are not the flashiest platform, but we are proud of being one of most stable and serious players in peer-to-peer space. So our motto is that we believe in long term. So again, a lot of thank yous goes to our investors and our partners.
Yep, awesome. Thank you for that. And yeah, I can actually confirm that because I usually only get negative feedback about platforms, so people that complain about some platforms, and I don't hear anything actually about Debitum. So that's definitely a sign that you are a great platform and you take good care of your customers and investors. So definitely, I can confirm that.
Thank you.
So I want to move a bit, as you said before, on education. So a lot of people that are watching this, listen to this. Some people already know about peer-to-peer lending, some people already know about Debitum as well, but some people are also brand new. They want another way to invest, peer-to-peer lending, they heard about it somewhere. What would be your advice for someone that is just seeing this and that's really just starting in peer-to-peer lending? What would you say to this person?
Well, that's not an easy question. So if you make an investment decision, there's a lot of components you need to take into account. Few of those are your own. What's your psychological profile versus the investment class you go? Because for some people, they would like to. Everyone wants to have highest returns, but not everyone is comfortable with volatility. So I would say first be very honest with yourself and make the right assessment of how volatile or risky investments you want to do. And second is, I think, the best you can do, whatever your strategy is, go for higher return, higher risk, or lower return and lower risk, is that you match it with your own profile. That's one. And second is, if you go for lower or higher return, then make sure you do some diligence and you actually get proportionate risk. Yeah, as financial people say that upside and downside. Yeah, the upside should be bigger than downside. Yeah, so if you do, I don't know, 1,000 times an investment in long term, yeah, you should be with adequate risk and return ratio. So that's a very vague thing to say, but that principle is very important and that investors maintain.
Yep, definitely. Thanks for that. So we are approaching the end actually. So for people that are actually interested in learning more about Debitum, about peer-to-peer lending, and just want to try out your platform or just learn more, what are the best ways to get more information online about Debitum and maybe eventually get started with the platform?
Best place to start is our official website. That's debitum.investments. You can find there basically everything from product descriptions to performance statistics to our trust score methodology, how we score which partner, blog articles, investor guides. We also publish regular updates on our blog. So we cover there some crucial milestones or events. Also maybe some interviews with partners like the Forest Fund we talked. Also we also believe in word of mouth, that people from industry talk about us. So you can find a lot in, I don't know, in YouTube or if you, for example, YouTube, or if you Google any social media, you can see that there are industry experts or people that have had experience with us, that they share their experience or comment on newest events. So, but for more serious or detailed information, any investment according to our license goes with very detailed set of documents, very similar as if you go to a bond issue or stock exchange. You always have these prospectus type of documents where you can see company information, historical track record, not of the platform but of the concrete business you're investing in. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of information, but again, we fully reckon that not all investors have a lot of time, and the expectation for peer-to-peer industries that it's relatively compressed or summarized. Yeah, so I think we offer both ways to digest information.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that. That's already the end of this interview. I'm sure people will love it and really like the information that we talked about today. Thank you so much again for coming today.
Again, Marco, thank you for having me.
And that concludes our fascinating conversation with Eriks Rengitis, the CEO of Debitum. I want to thank Eriks for sharing his insights on their innovative approach to small business financing and the future of the alternative lending space. If you're interested in learning more about Debitum's platform, you'll find all the relevant links in the show notes below. I've also included a link to my detailed review of Debitum, where I dive deeper into their offerings, performance metrics, and my personal experience with the platform. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more interviews with fintech leaders and alternative investment opportunities. If you have any questions about Debitum or suggestions for future guests, please drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.